Hey everybody, it's Nick, and I have Lynn here, and we just spent 2 weeks in Ireland, and I thought that we would talk about our
I spent more
experiences.
than that.
You've been spending a lot longer than that, but I spent 2 weeks in Dublin, and you joined me here, and we went to a lot of cool places, and this is our little apartment that we have. And turn. All right, then you come back. Hello. So yeah, we did a lot of traveling. We spent some time seeing things like we went to the Botanic Gardens, which I would highly recommend if anyone ever comes to Dublin, go there. It's free, which I found out a lot of things here are free. I'm so
Hmm.
used to everything being paid galleries and things,
Well, like tourist things, not everything.
touristy things, yeah. But you can get away with just buying a Leap card and going on the Lewis and traveling around the city pretty cheaply. We didn't ever buy a taxi actually the whole time we were here, pay for a
Mm-mm.
taxi. And if you're from the U.S., it might be surprising to you to find out, but you don't really have to tip for most things either. You just kind of
Mm-mm.
go. Sometimes you put like €1, but it's not much. So yeah, the expenses are actually kind of minimal. So yeah, we went to the Botanic Gardens and it was fantastic. Saw a billion different flowers and there was a nice long park to walk around. And then we went to Glasnevin Cemetery after that, and that was beautiful as well.
There was
Um,
the sculpture exhibition in the
yeah, it was a two
gardens.
for one deal, so we got to see some cool plants, and then there was sculptures built in with the whole deal. It was very nice. Um, it seems weird to go to a cemetery, I guess, for a trip, but like
It
if
was the
it was
architecture.
like massive stonework as far as the eye could see, and it was really beautiful, some of
It was
it.
huge.
And we happened to be on really, really good weather for the first whole week. In fact, there wasn't any rain. It was mostly not even overcast, which, if you're familiar with Ireland, it's almost always overcast and
Mm-hmm.
rainy. But we ended up with pretty warm weather, like in the mid to low 50s Fahrenheit. And the rain only happened a little bit. There was only one day of like actual rain. It was
Yeah, it's
mostly just
very
mist.
strange, especially for the end of October.
Yeah, so we nailed it. And man, I guess thank you global warming. We we made some positivity happen out of that. So yeah, we didn't just go to see flowers. We also went to about 100 different museums and art galleries. Saw a ton of different stuff there. Went to
The
the
National
National
Gallery Museum,
Gallery was one of them.
the
Uh,
Natural History Museum.
yeah, we saw some stuffed animals and we saw
Well, like taxidermy, not like
taxidermy.
teddy bears.
Well, there was some bears, but they weren't teddy like. There were zebras and giraffes and stuff, and they all had their guts pulled out and stuff. It was pretty cool. Um, what else should
The
we see?
Archaeology
Oh
Museum.
yeah, we saw the bog exhibit. So there's some people that were really, really old that had fallen into bogs, and then they found them later when they went to
they they
what?
died and then the bog covered them up. They didn't fall in.
Well, they got in there somehow, right? I don't know how they
They
got in
didn't just
there.
fall in and go. "Ah," you know.
I presume one of them at least did. There were
No, there
several.
was written up that one guy got stabbed. It was
Oh,
mostly
that's
fights,
sad.
funnily enough. But
Wow.
yeah, they didn't just fall in. Death by bog.
Anyway, it was a pretty interesting exhibit
Yeah,
because
it
there's
was
a bunch
cool.
of people's torsos that kind of look like flattened out beef jerky, and they
They were
were
preserved really
really,
well because of the
really
bogs.
old.
Yeah.
You could still see the freaking hair on their
Mm-hmm.
chins, like almost as detailed as the hair that you see on my chin here. See? Thank you for the illustration. Um, so yeah, that was worth doing. There was also like the Dublin Gold area that they had in that museum. We didn't actually explore that whole museum. We didn't have a full day for
Most of
that
it. We
one.
didn't go upstairs, but
Yeah, there were
there
a couple
was
days we split up our time a bit.
the chalice and the tower
Oh,
brooch and
right,
all
that's
that.
true. There were a bunch of really like old historical artifacts and things,
Lots of
which
bells. We're a fan of bell shrines for some reason.
bells and harps and
Mm.
books with really fancy intaglio on them. There was a whole exhibit we saw actually in Dublin Castle that was like natural history of book bindings, and it was also with like Japanese.
It was all over the
Yeah, it
place.
was like all the different
Yeah.
things. There was a Japanese part. There was a thing on a British cartoon, and what else was there? There was another bit
It
too.
was Asian in general, and
And
then
then there was like Islamic and Christian
there was the
history.
Quran, and yeah,
Yeah, which seemed really odd to put all of those things roughly in the same area. They were on different floors, but like they were right next to each other.
various parts of what makes up the Bible and whatnot.
Yeah, we saw some really, really old
Like
historical
the
stuff.
oldest, one of the oldest pages in the world. So
And yeah, in addition to seeing some of the oldest pages, we stood in some of the oldest places in the world. What was it? Newgrange, right?
Newgrange.
Yeah, we went
Mm-hmm.
to see this mysterious site that they're not even sure exactly what it is. It might be a temple, it might be a shrine. But whatever it is, it's older than Jesus, and we went inside of it, and we got to hang out
You gotta
inside
stop
where the
saying
rocks are.
that.
It was, though.
Yeah, but lots of things are.
All right, well, I mean, specifically that one thing, I mean, saying it's older than
It's
the
like the
pyramids is
Stone
pretty
Age.
wild.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
A lot of people give the pyramids a lot of credit, and I mean,
That
credit where
makes more of
credit's
an
due.
impact, I
It's
think.
pretty freaking massive, yes. And this is honestly just like a little mound of stones with a hole that goes into the earth a little bit, but it was still quite impressive. And to go into it and see all these old cave drawings, that, who knows how old they are, it was pretty awesome.
5,000 or so.
5,000.
It's more than that.
It was way more than that. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but if you look up the Newgrange site, I'm sure you'll see. That's
It's
the
one of
one.
the most famous ones we have of where on the winter solstice the sun shines through the roof box at the top and leads
Yeah.
it way through the whole chamber.
Right, so you get in, there's like a straightaway for a while, and then you get to an actual open chamber where the ceiling is higher, and in the winter solstice, the light will travel all the way down the long chamber and reach the end. So they do a drawing every year. So if you happen to be very lucky and get picked for one of like 20 something people that get to go stand there, you get to see the actual
For like
sunlight
20 minutes.
for about 20 minutes. If you're lucky enough to have the actual sunlight instead of an overcast usual winter that you would expect in
Yeah.
Ireland, you get to see that fantastic thing that's been talked about throughout history as to be very spectacular. Lynn forgot to put her name into the drawing for it, unfortunately.
I can do it again.
Yeah. So yeah, we did some of those things. We went for a lot of really good food. What was it? J.W. Sweetman, I think, was one of our favorite. We went to that 3 times.
By the river.
Right next to O'Connell Street in the main area of Dublin, right off the main road there. Highly, highly recommend if you ever come here, go there. Their food was fantastic. They had good beer. It was affordably priced, and service was fantastic too. No complaints at all, except it was so full one night. But that's it was a Saturday night, so what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
We went to this breakfast place called Lemon a bunch of times.
Lemon and grape, I think it's called.
Oh, is it? I thought it was just lemon.
It's not just lemon, though. We
Yeah.
kept calling it that, but it's lemon
All right,
and
well,
crepes
lemon
or
something or other, and there's 2 locations near Temple Bar.
There's one in Temple Bar and one just beside Trinity.
Right. Oh yeah, that's another thing we do. We went to Trinity College a couple of times. We went to one of the massive library halls that they had in one of the Harry Potter movies, which was very impressive. It was just as huge as it seems from the pictures, and to stand in that kind of space is very awe-inspiring. And just to walk around Trinity College, and a very old historical college, is pretty cool as well. We saw a science exhibit there too, on a different day, actually on this day that we're recording this, which happens to be the last day that I'm here. And that was very cool. It was a whole thing about security and privacy and cyber everything.
Yeah, that was awesome.
And we learned to pick locks a little bit. I did a 3 and a 4 pin. I think Lynn did the same, actually, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I couldn't get the 4. I only got the 2
Oh.
and the 3.
I actually picked better locks than you.
I tried to do the 5, but I couldn't.
Yeah, we both sat on the 5 for a bit. I was actually on it for like 15 minutes. I couldn't get it
my
open.
fingers are starting to hurt, so
I think she was pressing too hard. I don't think you need to do it.
I was getting annoyed.
He said about the same pressure as you use on a space bar is all you need to do for the torque bar.
Oh, I definitely didn't do that.
I think you're...
Is that what he said?
Yeah, he did.
Here, I was...
Oh no, he gave the presentation like 10 times around us. I figured you heard him.
No, I was concentrating too hard.
Yeah. Takes a lot of concentration apparently to open locks, but yeah, no, that's actually kind of really fun, and I'm definitely gonna go get a lock kit and try and learn to pick locks better, because it was just kind of addictive. It's a thing that I never would have thought to try, but they just had it there at this exhibit, and you just walk up and try to pick locks for a while, and good fun.
I think that's on until mid-November or something.
Oh yeah, so
if anyone's around Dublin.
You might have a chance to pop in and give it a try. I do recommend it. It was free. I mean, they recommend a donation if possible, but you just walk in and hang out for a bit.
That's the usual, yeah. All galleries and donations, they'd recommend a donation, but
yeah,
it's free.
Especially like for students, if you can't afford it, then no harm, no foul, right? We saw the Little Museum of Dublin.
Went to the zoo.
We went to the zoo. The zoo was cool.
Red pandas.
Yeah, the red pandas were the highlight, I think, for Lynn. And probably for me as well, actually. Thinking about it, it was mostly like a park more than... I mean, it was a zoo, for sure, like a proper zoo, but it was a very big open one.
Very white space, yeah. It's always been like that. And they've added more to it as the time's gone on.
And if you're planning to go, I'd say just recommend, plan out that you have plenty of time to just walk kind of slowly and take in all the sights, because it's a bit of a walk all the way around the whole thing. And it's a lot of fun. They've got the usual zoo staples. They've got the elephants and the tigers and the rhinos and
The
all of that.
rhinos are
So
fighting.
the rhinos were very upset with each other. They said there's two pairs of them, and they were like dueling with their horns and such. But it was fun. It was a little bit of a chilly day that day, and it was starting to rain, so we were kind of like maybe hurrying a bit through it, but still had a good time. Got some good pictures and some videos of the
I got
red
an owl.
pandas. Yeah, you did. Lynn got a stuffed owl, which they didn't actually have any owls there, as far as we knew. So I'm not sure why they had owls in the gift
I think
shop.
they have before. They're just sorting out the
Oh,
aviary.
okay. Yeah, there was a really a sad lack of most birds there.
Yeah,
I
there was a
saw.
mini aviary, but I think they're still doing it up.
Hmm. The lions seemed like they were in between habitats right now, so they were a little bit sad. Kind of.
And the orangutans were getting a new
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, there was a lot of construction, but that seems to be the theme around Dublin. We've noticed
Yeah.
everywhere we're going, there was loud construction vehicles and all kinds of things being torn down. And it's like, well, seems like you guys got a pretty good handle on it. It's like Dublin's really coming up. It's a really nice city.
We're quite broke though. I don't know where they're
Yeah.
getting all this money to reconstruct.
Well,
stuff.
they're adding the Lewis line, and that's got to be really
Well,
expensive.
we need that. That's a big thing because you know yourself, you need
Yeah.
get to it halfway across the city, and then you have to walk the rest. So it makes sense, especially to go along the college.
Yeah, we kind of went through this main track almost every day that took us to this one stop on the main transit system on the train. And we would get off, and it's like, well, if we could have just had the line go in this other direction over by Trinity, we would have actually had a lot faster time. And that's the line they're adding now.
Mm-hmm.
And it would have been very convenient. But
Probably won't be ready for another 5 years or something.
I imagine it would take a while. It's a lot of work to add a freaking rail line like that. But it was very convenient, and well, it was good exercise anyway. We got to walk all around. We didn't just take the train. For the first 2 days, we wandered about quite a bit. What else did we do? Is there anything else worth mentioning that you can think of? Oh yeah, we had a lot of rotary sushi. We went twice to that, to Yo Sushi, which I would also recommend. Probably avoid the desserts. They're very small and rather expensive.
And not spectacular.
They're not fantastically great either, but, you know, if you just want something kind of sweet, it's not terrible. But it's like €5 for this, like, 3 or 4
like
bite
you can
little
go
thing.
to places and get more sushi and probably like
Yeah.
slightly better quality for better value, but it's the whole.
You're paying for the atmosphere of
Yeah.
rotary sushi, where you can just kind of take stuff off a conveyor belt if you want
It's
it.
fun. It's definitely worth trying.
It's
out.
fun, and the service was fine for the most part. No complaints there. And every time we thought we'd have a higher bill than we ended up having when we went to bring it up to pay, which was kind of odd. But
I think there's just some deals that.
yeah,
we
there's
missed out
deals
on
that they
when we were
kept
adding it
quiet
up.
about. Like they had I think it was like infinite water for €1, and we weren't sure if they were charging
Triple
us
filtered
triple filtered, charging us by the table or by the cup or
by the sip.
by the sip. Yeah, it was kind of confusing. Yeah, so the sushi was a lot of fun.
We were at the Modern Art Museum as well. That
Yeah.
Love exhibition.
Yeah,
was
we
quite
saw this.
interesting.
There was a Salvador Dali piece there, which was quite
It
cool.
was Duchamp
Mhm.
etchings.
Marcel
They were cool
Duchamp.
to see.
There was actually like a lot of really famous artists that
Yeah.
we saw work by. I think there were a few
There was-
Picasso pieces in one of the exhibitions, right?
In the National Gallery, there was a Caravaggio and a Monet and a.
Oh yeah, the Caravaggio was really
and
impressive
a
actually.
Picasso, yeah.
I think there were even a bunch more than that.
There are. I can't remember the names,
Yeah.
but there was. Yeah.
I would have photographed them all, but like you don't really do that. It would have been nice to have a record of having seen them, but also whatever. It's just art. Just really important, influential,
Well, you
historical
can't-
art.
It's kind of pointless taking a picture of it because
Yeah.
you could see better examples online if you look it up.
Oh no, it's more just saying like the record of like I remember I saw that because I've seen a whole bunch of art exhibits and now I don't even remember half of the people that were in them, which may be a little bit sad, but I have a shitty memory.
Well,
so
that's a permanent exhibition, so whenever you forget, just look up the National Gallery
guess
of
so.
Ireland and just
I'm
see
also
what's
gonna
there.
forget which freaking museums I've been to now, but there were.
Oh, we went to tons.
We
of
went
them.
to mostly all of the good ones in
I'll send
Ireland,
you a
I would
list.
say, in Dublin anyway.
I tried to take him to a lot of the Dublin ones. Yeah.
Saying him like you're just speaking directly to someone else.
Hmm?
Nothing. But yeah, I would absolutely recommend come to Dublin. It's a fantastic city. It's really chill here. Everybody's really friendly and polite. And I made like a lot of observations about the differences between this and New York City while I was here. But it just in general, it's such a laid back, like cool place. And it's got a lot of the big city convenience without all of the big city hassles. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of people, but it's not anywhere near New York City levels. And for the most part, it's pretty manageable to get around. It's not that confusing. So if you're intimidated by cities, well, okay, we had a little bit of a setback
If
one of
you're
the
used
days.
to New York, which is all grids and very niche.
Yeah, it's
ours is
organically
all over
laid
the
out.
place, so
It's more
it
like
might
Boston.
take you a while to get used to that, but otherwise, just keep an eye on the maps like we didn't when we tried to find the zoo.
If you have a GPS, that's ideal. I didn't because, international roaming fees and such. I know I could have probably bought like an international SIM
It's
card,
crazy money though.
but it's very expensive to do some of that stuff, and I chose to just not. And we got by on Lynn's phone mostly, and the odd map that we could pull up from one place or another, or just looking at the lines on
Yeah,
the
we got there for
train.
the most part.
It was a lovely experience, and I'm gonna be really sad to leave here. I would hope to come back here as often as possible. I never thought I would love Ireland as much as I did. A really great place.
To take you to the west coast maybe next time, or south somewhere.
Yeah, I mean it's not a massive place in general, but there are a number of cities there we're seeing.
Mm-hmm.
I know you mentioned Galway was definitely on the list.
Always great, yeah.
Cork and Belfast, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
Any other places that you can think of that we should see? We never really got to go to the coast at all. We were mostly just around the city, with a couple days
Well,
accepted.
Those are the main places that I know of that I've been. So
Right,
there
right.
probably are other ones, but I haven't been.
Yeah.
I haven't been there.
We
Yeah.
crossed off a lot of the big things off the list, though, like the touristy stuff. And it's kind of funny. We actually noticed, having gone to so many tourist attractions, it seems like there's one major distributor that brings all of the trinkets to all of them. Because we kept finding, like, oh, it's the pocket watches again. Oh, it's the same little shot glasses again.
It's probably the same in any major
Yeah.
city. They just have the same tourist shop and
It's the same stuff in every place you go.
Yeah.
I was very hesitant to buy any of those things. It's like you're actually here in the place. It's sort of like sacrilege to not respect the culture enough to go buy actual things from actual stores instead of the stuff that's pre-processed for the tours. So that's the thing. Also, if you do go someplace out of the United States, and me being the first time that I've ever gone out of the United States, except for the time I went to Canada, get like a lot of money before you go, so you don't have to keep getting transaction fees on your ATM and stuff. I made that mistake. I think I should have just taken out like 600 euro before, or done it at a money exchange first. So I ended up adding up a ton of fees over the course of it. But, just little things to learn as you go. There will be mistakes if you ever go on international travel, I'm sure. But, little things. So that's one cool thing that I've done in my life, and I'm really excited about it. And I hope that I can get back here real soon. Thanks for having me.
No problem. You're very welcome back.
All right. We'll see you later, everybody. Bye.